Solos are back. We are back. It feels like tournaments are almost every single day again. And that's how you know we are in for a fun rest of season. And in today's video, we have to recap the first solo series tournament, including some massive crash outs we had, pro 1v1s, Fortnite completely changing the loot pool in the middle of the tournament, and so much more. Real quick before this video starts though, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, as we are less than 400 subs away from 115,000 subscribers. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. Follow me on my Twitch if you guys want to watch the finals of any of these tournaments with me. Without further ado though, we have a lot of different things to go over in today's video. Let's get this started with explaining the format one more time for you guys if you're confused on how this tournament actually works, because this is the first time we have ever had a tournament like this. So pretty much there is going to be 6 total opens weeks of the solo series format, and then your best 4 tournaments out of these 6 weeks are going to get added up, and then if your combined points finish you inside of the top 100, you will get to compete in a massive set lobby finals solo tournament at the end of the season. So pretty much anybody that is currently in the top 100 after today is on pace to be able to make the finals, but there is still 5 other weeks after this. So any pros that struggle today, they still have a lot of other chances. The pro that is currently in first place though is actually one of the most underrated solo players, I feel like, of Sphinx. He finished on 382 points, was not able to win any games, but did still finish with 62 total elims. We literally just saw Sphinx win the eval cup yesterday, and today he is already currently in first place after the first week of the solo series. Second place is M3 Dizzy. Now he finished on 380 points, won 2 out of his 10 matches. And I did check, and it doesn't look like this is a cheater. It looks like he's just an underrated player. 117 total events, $700 earned. Huge shout out to him for being top 2 in the solo series so far. That is always going to be the super cool thing about these solo events, is we are always going to get to see these brand new up and coming players really make a name for themselves. In third place though is another one of our tier 1 pros that has already made a name for himself, of Yamzo. He finished on 373 points, won 1 out of his 8 matches, and got 32 total elims as well. Yamzo wasn't necessarily going for like the craziest frag games in this. His best matches were an 8 elimination win, 6 elimination 7th, and a 1 elimination 4th. But consistency is going to be key, especially when you're trying to qualify, and he's setting himself up to be in a very good spot for just that. Fourth place is one of our newest up and coming controller pros as well, of Curve. He finished on 369 points and won 2 out of his 10 matches. Fifth place, we actually have an EU player playing on NA, of Cade. If you guys are curious, no, this tournament is not region locked, so these pros are able to play on any region that they want. Sixth place was Insomniac. Seventh place was Peterbot on 363. Now, of course, as you could guess, Peterbot did finish with the most elims in this entire tournament. He finished with 77 total elims and won 1 out of his 7 matches. His best games of the day was a 27 elimination win, 13 elimination 8th, 16 elimination 10th, and a 15 elimination 5th. And something pretty crazy about this tournament as well is right before it started, we got a hot fix from Hypex that he tweeted out. The wrecked revolver got nerfed in the damage by 6%, its build's damage got nerfed by 2%, and then a bunch of other things got slightly buffed. I'm not gonna lie, just from watching the tournament, I really couldn't notice any of these changes at all, but some changes that I could notice was the comp loot pool getting updated in the middle of the solo cash cup.
What am I using? Wait, I'm so confused. Refund that. What gun is that?
Literally, it was like an hour into the tournament, and out of nowhere, Fortnite added the Frenzy Auto Shotgun, the MK7 AR rifle, the Hollow Twister AR rifle, the Spire rifle, and then they just randomly took out the Twin Fire Auto Shotgun. So yeah, in classic Fortnite fashion, completely changing the loot pool in the middle of the tournament. And then we didn't get to see Peterbot go head to head versus very many pros today, but we did get to see him fight Agers off spawn at the train. So I want to show how that fight went. Of course, we know Peter was probably the best solo player the last time we saw solo cash cups. I think him and Muzz are in that main argument for being the first and the second best solo players in the world right now. And Peter looks to continue to be on his hot streak. And he also seems to be full grinding now as well. He really does look like he is on a revenge tour after the Globals disaster class that we saw. He played both EU and NA today. 8th place was Master Ugary, 9th place was Aloe, and then rounding out the top 10 was Milk on 358. The other big names that we saw in this tournament that are currently on pace to qualify is like 14th place of G-Money, 17th place of Muzz on 345. Muzz was able to win 1 out of his 9 matches and finished with 49 total elims as well. Unfortunately, he did have to run into Clix in one of his mid-game fights, and this is how that fight went.
That brother's gonna think I'm cheating. GG's Muzz.
Okay. Cool. That's actually awesome. What are the chances, Clix? What are the chances, bro? And you have a double fucking purple pump. No fucking Clix, bro.
Still though, like I said earlier, Muzz is one of the best solo players in the world. He was still able to finish top 17. He's gonna be just fine. In 40th place, we had Agers on 327, Aviv in 63rd, and then Ferdoxy was able to sneak his way onto being on pace to qualify on NA in 96th place. We did also though have a lot of our tier 1 pros on NA not play today because they were either sick or they just don't want to play because they're not on 0 ping right now. I'm pretty sure the pros of Kanata, Rapid, Bolts, Poyo, Acorn, Cooper, Reet, all did not play today either. But some of the other main pros that are currently just outside of pace to being able to qual is like 137th place of Booga. Now, keep in mind with this format, him finishing in 137th and not being on that like top 100 pace right now isn't even necessarily like bad. He is still accumulating points to try and make sure that he's able to qualify for the finals. And then we also have like Clix in 165th place. He finished with 299 points, was not able to win any matches today, but did get 58 total elims. His best games of the day were a 20 elimination 8th and an 11 elimination 2nd. Clix historically in Fortnite has been known as one of the better solo players in the game, so I am very curious to see how he's actually going to look over these next couple of weeks in this solo series. And then I think Cold did end up playing this, but then he quit after like 4 games or something in classic Cold fashion. I can't actually find the exact placement that he finished in on his Fortnite tracker, so I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, yeah, NA was super fun to watch today. Let's actually move on to some of the crash outs that we had on EU. Now in EU, the passion, the crash outs, and even some of our best solo players are back. Starting off with currently in first place of the EU solo series after week 1 is none other than Vico on 430 points. He was able to win 2 out of his 8 matches, get 71 total elims. His best games of the day were a 28 elimination win, 11 elimination 2nd, and a 7 elimination win. I feel like the last time that we had pretty major solo tournaments, Vico unfortunately was one of those players that was kind of one of the bigger disappointments of that. But now Vico this season looks absolutely primed up, especially after globals. He seems to be fully motivated, fully back to grinding the game. We literally saw him dominate the first duo tournament yesterday with Focus, and then today he is currently in first place of the solo series. He is just looking so nasty. Second place is one of our most up and coming players recently. I'm pretty sure he led like the damage of one of the eval or div cups this season, and that is Velo. He finished with 415 points, won 1 out of his 8 matches, and got 52 total elims. Of course, like I said on NA, we have literally zero clue what the qual is probably going to be because this is the first time we have ever seen a format like this. But speaking of Focus, in third place, literally winning half of his games is Focus. He won 3 out of his 6 matches, got 63 total elims, and he got a 16 elimination win, 22 elimination win, and a 10 elimination win. And then even in his very final game, he got a 10 elimination 2nd too. Focus said in his tweet that he does want to be going to 0 ping now to find a duo for either NA or EU, and I have to admit, he is looking absolutely primed up right now. And then in 4th place to me was the most impressive performer of the day, and that was Chap. Chap finished with 390 points, won 3 out of his 10 matches, and the most impressive reason for this was because he got 90 total elims in this tournament. He had 19 more elims than Vico, who finished with the second most elims. And the high kill games are back because Chap got a 27 elimination win and a 40 elimination win, giving him our first 40 elim win on all of EU this season. I am so intrigued on what the highest elim game is going to be from either NA or EU this entire season, because this looks like it really can be a crazy W key meta, and these games are just going to be so fun to watch. Chap is also playing with Flixie in duos now as well. The fighting potential in that team is going to be so scary. I'm expecting a huge, not only rest of this year for Chap, but also an incredible 2026 as well. 5th place is Karama on 387, 6th place is Sky on 383, 7th place is Pixie on 376, 8th place is Calgier, 9th place is Frantic, and then rounding out the top 10 is Prism on 368. So honestly, a super stacked bunch of tier 1s inside of the top 10. Some of our other big name players that are currently on pace to qualify is like 16th place of Ferdoxy. He won 3 out of his 10 matches, and in 2 of those wins that he got, they were both 26 elim wins. We had Chicho in 22nd, Turtle in 23rd, Flixie in 36th, Hari in 49th, Shark in 51st, and also like Malibuka in 54th, and Seti in 78th. Comeback in 91st, and then Pix in exactly 100th place right now. And then of course that means that we do have a lot of big name pros that are either not able to play this solo tournament because they have been sick, like MrSavage and Swizzy have not queued for a single tournament since they won the global championship, since they have unfortunately been extremely sick. So I hope of course that they're able to get well soon. And then we also have our other big name pros that did just struggle after the first week of the solo series. We have like Mongrel in 2,265th. He finished with 267 points, winning 1 out of his 10 matches and getting 23 total elims. His best games were like an 11 elimination second and a 5 elimination win. His old duo of MrSavage is in 5,558th, getting 242 points after the first day. He wasn't able to win any games, but did finish with 45 total elims. Of course, that is one of the positives of a format that only counts 4 out of your 6 best weeks, is these pros do have 2 whole weeks to burn through, but they are definitely going to need to lock in now since they only have 1 more week that they can potentially play bad if they want to be able to still qualify for the solo finals. And then we got some of our crash out players. In 9,465th, we have Queasy. He finished with 221 points, won 2 out of his 10 matches, but pretty much the only 2 games that he won were basically his only good games of the entire day. He got a 20 elimination win and an 8 elimination win. And Queasy, of course, at this point in his career is not known as like a crazy solo player or nothing like that, but he does still end up streaming like every single one of these tournaments, and you know he is always going to have some crash out in these solos.
Snaked by 7 kids every game, every single game. It's just 7 people on my dick. I have 5 builds the whole game. I'm getting AR tagged from corners, bro.
And then I think this has to be the winner for the biggest crash out of the week. We have Rezon. I literally can't even find his placement because he did majorly struggle today. But I do still think Rezon is a pretty crazy solo player, and he even knows that himself because we got to see this massive crash out from him.
Und er tanzt, ich töte deine Mutter, du Hurensohn! Ich werde sie töten! Nein, in Fortnite natürlich. Ein GTA, scheiß drauf, Bruder. Nein! Ich hasse Solo, Bruder! Nein, Digga, nein, Mann! Digga.
Other than that though, I'm so happy that solos are finally back. There is so much content that comes from this. Remember, if you guys want to make sure you don't miss any of my future tournament recap videos, please just subscribe right now and turn on notifications as we are so close to 115,000 subscribers. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. Once again, truly do love and appreciate every single person that supports me and watches the videos each and every single day. Remember to thank God for another day though, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.